I'm stronger in the division, and I'm met here with my friend Trez Leches to talk about Paragon. Apparently, what's going on, Trez?
I don't know. You invited me, fam.
Yeah, I was actually invited you guys like 20 minutes ago, but that's cool. All right, so
Did
a lot
you?
of you
I
guys have
just
been
started it.
a lot of you guys have been asking how to make your character stronger, how to become a stronger player in the division. And really, there's a few different ways to do it. It's not just, getting to the max level and getting your base of operation filled out and then running around the dark zone. There is a series of things that you can do to make your character just as strong as mine, if not stronger. And if you do these, it actually won't take you very long to do it. You just have to be careful and not rush into something that isn't going to be beneficial to you. So say, for example, you don't want to get to level 30 and not have any good armor and run into the dark zone. But at the same time, you don't want to get to level 30 and just barely break the 161 level cap. Because if your gear score is above 161, you're automatically going to be put into a lobby with people with 161 or above gear score. And some of those gear scores are going to go as high as mine, for example. That can go as high as 224. Which, if you guys don't know, the maximum is 228. So, in order to become stronger with any agent, regardless of where you're at right now, one, you need to get your base of operation up and running and completely maxed out. So the fastest way to level up is to do missions on the harder difficulty and to complete the pentagon-shaped missions. You will get these from any base of operation or safe house that you go to. You'll get a list of missions. You complete those give you a lot of experience. That's how you get your character stronger. And then you just do the side missions to get the rest of the base of operation maxed out. Unlocking the base of operations will in turn make it to where you have more talents, including the master talents. The master talents really make it a lot easier to use your skills. So, I've seen a lot of players at level 30 taking on challenge mode, hard mode, and all these other modes, but they don't have their base of operation maxed out, and that really does hurt you, especially in the PvP environment, and it can hurt you in PvE as well, or PvP as well, because there will be other players that do have their base of operation maxed out that can, do more damage and have better abilities than what you have. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a second, as soon as I clear this out.
What you been up to, man?
Just killing stuff right now, Trez. Alright, so I almost have this place cleared out. Alright. So let's take, for example, the skill Overdose, which is your healing ability. One, you do have to have, your medical wing upgrade, and you have to have those two talents. However, if you don't have it mastered, you only get one shot out of it. You use it, and it's over. And this goes with a lot of other skills, but let's just focus on one at a time here. Say, for example, we have this Overdose ability. If you do not have the mastered version of it, which is this one, which extends the duration of the effect and the allies that approach it over time. This affects you as well. Okay, so when you use it, normally if you don't have it mastered, you only get one shot. But if you have it upgraded, it leaves a cloud behind that you can run through multiple times and continue to heal yourself off of and keep your overheal up. And that's great. Imagine having 3 people being able to jump back and forth through each other's clouds. You basically have infinite health. And you'll see that a lot in PvP where people activate it and jump through their clouds multiple times and their health will stay there. If you don't have your base of operation up and running, then you're not going to have this ability. So you need to get your base of operation up and running. Okay, so we have all that taken care of. You're at level 30, your base of operations maxed out, you're ready to go, and you're ready to start taking on the Dark Zone. Now, you can take on the Dark Zone at any level, and I actually recommend it. Okay, as you're leveling up your character, consider going into the Dark Zone and seeing what the max level cap is for that specific Dark Zone. Say, for example, there's levels 1 through 8 that go into one specific Dark Zone, 8 through 12 get that Dark Zone, 12 through 15 or 16 or 18 or whatever it is, they get that Dark Zone. Get to the highest level of that Dark Zone. and then start leveling up your rank in the Dark Zone. You won't actually gain any experience on your character, but you can raise your Dark Zone reputation. Yes, I will be cryptic. As soon as they reset, I will be making that video in just a second. Okay, so now that you've able to start leveling up in the Dark Zone, you can also do the same thing once you're level 30. Get your gear score as close as you can to 160 without going over. Pretty much playing the Price is Right here. So you want to get it at exactly 160 if you can. You can actually do it with green armor pieces. You just need to collect the 191 pieces and run really, really low quality weapons as your sidearm, because you're not really going to use your sidearm in PvP. But you can carry a high weapon, a very nice weapon, and just run some 191 gear, maybe a really, really crappy, very low level pistol, and that'll lower your light gear. Try to keep it below 160 before you go into the Dark Zone. Once you go in, start looking for bosses, any named enemy, and start looking for chests, and start trying to find as many gold pieces as you can that will raise your light level above 160 to 170. But don't equip them in the Dark Zone. You're only trying to rank up so you can buy some of the better stuff in the Dark Zone later on. Okay? After you've collected a lot of gold gear and your character is set the way that you want them to be, and you feel like you're ready to take on some challenges, start considering how you want to build your character. Now, you do not want to go a jack of all trades, and I've said this before. You don't want to try and make all of them even, like 2,000 across the board. You really need to designate what abilities you want more than others. Say, for example, you want to run skill power. You need to take your stamina, you need to get it up there, and you need to work on your armor as well. So you have stamina and you have armor. From this point, you need to decide whether you want to go your skill power or whether you want to go firearms. Say, for example, my mitigation is 63.7. The max armor mitigation is 65%. So once you've hit 65, you don't need to worry about armor at all anymore. You don't just ignore that altogether. Get it roughly between 60 and 65%. That's the ideal spot for the best armor mitigation. That'll help you win a lot more gunfights. So now that you have your armor mitigation up, get your stamina up. Stamina is by far the king of all of them. It doesn't matter how it's set up or what you do. Get the stamina as high as you can. From there, then you're going to want to branch off and start raising up electronics. Now, I won't say that you want stamina as high as it can possibly go, but you do want it above 80k, definitely above 70k. You're mainly looking for about 80k. 80k is a good, solid landmark to start working on something else. Once you get it between 70 and 80k, which will probably be most of you guys starting out, you won't get 90k or to 100k until later on in the game once you have even better gear. But before you can even get that gear, you need to be able to get the 2 skills that you want, whether that be firearms, electronics. That's up to you. But you have to remember how to use those specific skills. If you're going to go electronics, then you need to use electronics that do more damage, that are able to put out that damage. If you're going to go firearms, then you need to pick out certain weapons that do more damage in the firearms department. And that means you have to give up on the third one. Okay, just as you can see, my electronics is almost nothing. And because of that, I don't use skills that require skill power. I use the overdose, which leaves a cloud behind that I can run through multiple times. No, it's not a good initial shot because my skill power is low, but because I can run through it multiple times, I'm able to increase my health. The second one I use is a Seeker Mine. The Seeker Mine does not require any skill power to use. It does its own thing. It'll run over there and it'll gas them and it'll stun them. As you'll see, I go ahead and chase it down. And it stuns him. Regardless of the skill power, it's going to stun him. So now that he's stunned, I can use my firearms to melt him down to nothing. Now, if you were running an electronics build, you would simply hit him with a sticky bomb, and that would be that. And you would hope that that would kill him. And if not, it's always good to have a good backup weapon.
Attention. Supply drops detected.
Alright, so now you have a build, and you got a good general idea of what skills you want, okay? Mind you, electronics are going to affect specific things. You need to know what the electronics affect. They're not always going to affect the amount of damage or the amount of healing that you get. Take, for example, the med bay. Regardless of what your skill power is, it's only going to heal you for a certain duration, not necessarily giving you more health. You need certain armor pieces in order for it to give you more health, and they will designate how much healing it gives as a support station. What skill power will do will increase the duration of the med station. The more electronics you have, the longer it'll stay on the field. It could stay on there for a good minute, maybe 2 minutes. Same thing goes with a turret, shock turret specifically. Now, the machine turret will in turn do more damage the higher your skill power, but the shock turret really isn't going to do damage anyway. You're not looking for it to. You're looking for it to stun them. The skill power will increase the duration of how long that shock turret stays on the ground. And I believe it increases that amount of health that it has as well, so it takes somebody a little bit longer to shoot it before it'll break. Okay, so that being said, you need to know what the skill power will affect before you decide to make that build, and if you are deciding to make that build, you need to choose your talents wisely. Either way, now that you have, whether you go in firearms or electronics build, whichever one you want to go, some people decide to go glass cannon where firearm and electronics and no stamina. That's probably one of the worst ideas that you can do, because you're going to lose just about every gunfight unless you're with a team and you're sitting way back in the back sniping or using sticky bombs or whatever. That's your call though. After you have a gear score above 180, that's the margin that you're really looking for before you take on incursions. Mind you, you can do it at a lower level, but you're looking between 160 and 180, and then you're going to start taking on hard mode. Don't worry about challenge mode yet. You need to take on hard mode, and just because you got the reward for that week doesn't mean you can't run it. Feel free to, match up with random people. If you have a good gear score and you know how to use your abilities, you shouldn't have too much of an issue getting through it with a group of 4. You use matchmaking, use whatever. And I recommend using matchmaking to get a team. Get people that you know, people that you can talk to on equal basis. If you guys like each other, then you can add each other to a friend. Now you have a team. Okay, if you don't like someone, kick them out of your party and find somebody that you do like. I know that sounds mean, but you need to find players that you can play with. Once you guys get consistent and you're able to run hard mode consistently, keep collecting those 191 gear pieces. And then take that and use those pieces to level up in the dark zone. But be careful of leveling up. If you try and go into the dark zone and you're above 161, odds are you're barely going to be above them starting out. And if you go against someone, let's say, that's my level, you're going to get absolutely ruined. Now, there are some cases where you might win a gunfight against people of higher gear score. If, say, for example, you happen to activate all your supers and you crit in just the right order. But odds are you're not going to have a lot of fun. You're going to lose a lot of your gunfights, and that means you're not going to be able to level up. If you're losing a lot, you're not going to be able to level up. Give up on the people that are max rogue. If there's people constantly killing you while you're max rogue, you need to get away from them. I understand that you want your revenge. I understand that it's annoying and you just want to put them in their place. But the fact is, odds are there's probably 4 of them. They probably have a lot higher gear score than you, and they're just trolling you. You need to spawn somewhere else and try and leave that area. Now, once you get away from these players, once you get all the way away from them and you're on your own, try and get some more gold pieces out and just do whatever you can to level up. Now, if you're at 160 gear score, you're at the top of that lobby, you should be able to go rogue and level up that way. And that's completely up to you guys. You can make a team, you guys all get to about 160-ish level, get some decent weapons, run that lobby. Absolutely destroy that lobby by all means. Try and get as much experience as you can in the dark zone. Your goal is to get to level 75. You keep grinding, keep hitting it, and keep crushing it until you get to rank 75. Once you're at rank 75, you need to go ahead and you need to start buying the high grade 204 weapons. You need those weapons. Once you get those weapons and you get some blueprints, you can buy the blueprints at the base of operation, or you can buy them here at this vendor here at the church. They have blueprints. I know you can't see them because I've already bought them. But get the blueprints, get this stuff made, go to the dark zone, get some crafting material, and get everything that you can out of it so that you can build your character. You gotta build your character. Once you get your gear score above 190, pushing 200 even, which you can easily do if you do this correctly and you get some really good gear, hit the drop zones, get the blueprints, and keep grinding out hard mode. Keep hitting that hard mode every single week. If you gotta make multiple characters, make multiple characters. Run it on 2 different characters. Even if your second character doesn't have as much as your first character does, as long as it's level 30 and you can transfer your gear over to it, run the hard mode, clear it out, get some good 214 gears or whatever you can do, and get your gear score as high as you can possibly get it. Okay? Once you get your set gear score, decide on what in-game gear you want, whether it be Sentry's Call, Striker's gear set, Tactician's Authority, whatever you want. And let me cover what each one does while we're on the topic. Okay, if you're running tank, if you're doing nothing but stamina, going 150k with insane defense, Nomad is an ideal one for you because what it does on its final skill is once you receive fatal damage, rather than dying, instead it'll completely heal you, completely max out your health. And if you have
Supply drop timer has
150,000
expired.
health plus insanely good defense, and this thing regenerates your health, you're gonna go. I mean, you're back at full health. I mean, it was already hard enough to get you down to zero. Now you're back at full health. This is what you tanks need. If you're running nothing but tank, this is for you. Okay. Sentry's Call. Now, Sentry's Call is designed for snipers. You can use it on any weapon, but it was mainly designed for snipers. You get your headshot damage, your damage to elite, and every time you tag an enemy's head, you'll get increased by 15% to damage. And that will stack up to 3 times, giving you 45% more damage on a headshot. So, if you have a sniper and you keep tapping them in the head with like an M1A or whatever it is that you decide to use, you're going to be able to do a lot of damage. This is great for assault rifles as well. Submachine guns can use it as well, and it is great. It's absolutely amazing. And it's probably one of the best gear sets. It's the one that I run for most everything that I do. And it's perfect for PvP for those of you guys that are running up front, you're trying to take somebody down in a gunfight. That's what Sentry's Call's for. Mind you, I do think it should be limited to just assault rifles and snipers, but it will work on any weapons. The next one we're going to look at is the Striker set. Striker set, you get 20% armor damage and 50% critical hit damage, which is really, really, really good. And the last one is every consecutive hit gives you 1% more damage and stacks up to 100%, giving you double the amount of damage that you were currently doing. If you're going to run this one, you need to run a shotgun with it. And the reason I say that is you combo a shotgun with the talent One is None. One is None will make it to where shotguns do an insane amount of damage. You keep hitting them in the head, the shotgun will... It's 1% per pellet rather than per bullet now. So you're getting 10% per shot. You combo that with the perk One is None, which makes it to where every time you hit an enemy in the head with a shotgun, then you're going to keep getting that round back, that shell back, over and over and over and over and over, making you have infinite ammo in your shotgun, easily able to stack your striker set all the way to max damage, blowing Sentry's Call out of the water, and being able to wreck in PvE. The reason this doesn't work in PvP is because it's harder to consistently land shots in PvP. People are going to be dodge rolling, people are going to be running, and not being able to consistently make hits is going to drop your striker set almost to zero. Now, should you just kill off a boss and you have that double damage stacked, running, either shock turret or the seeker mine or gas charge to stun the enemies and able to just wreck on them with the shotgun, you can turn around and take that damage and then destroy another player with it because your damage is going to be double. If you can land those hits, you're going to destroy anything, pretty much one-shot anything with a sniper if you combo a shotgun and a sniper. It's not always recommended, but it is something that you can do. Last one we're going to look at is Tactician's Authority. Now this one's really iffy because you by yourself might not necessarily be able to pull this off all the time. You're really going to be relying on a team to do this. Now you can do it by yourself, but it's going to be very inconvenient, and it's a lot better having a team, especially a sniper that can hit hard. Because what it does is every 60,000 damage your group deals, you get 1% to your skill power up to 100%. Excuse me. So imagine a sniper, let's say that it's on the Sentry's Call set, maxing out a Sentry's Call and then popping a dude in the head with a sniper rifle. Even if it does more damage than what is needed to kill him, imagine doing 1,000,000 plus damage on a sniper shot and all of that transferring into a Tactician's Authority gear piece. That's what makes a Tactician's Authority so great. If you're running skill power and you have a good solid team, it'll double your skill power, making the sticky bomb pretty much a one-hit kill in any situation. So this is mainly for that guy that is running that sticky bomb that really needs to drop a lot of enemies.
I was hitting 100k skill power.
Yeah. Trez is my tech support guy, and he can hit over 100,000 against another player. Not against AIs, against another player, hitting 100,000 damage. Okay, against AIs, it'll do like 500, 600, 700,000. Against another player, doing 100,000 damage. And what's great about it is it's not affected necessarily by armor mitigation. The sticky bomb itself will actually be affected by exotic damage resilience. Exotic damage resilience actually gives you more resistance to skill power, for those of you guys that didn't know. Either way, so now you know what the 4 of them do. This will help you guys decide on what build you want to make. After you get around 180k or 180 gear score, Now you need to consider taking on the challenge mode. You really want it to be 190 to 200, by all means. But if you can get a good team, and you can get a couple of guys above 200, you can take on challenge mode. Now, I will tell you guys how to take on challenge mode in another video that I'll cover shortly. But this is mainly to help you guys get started. I know a lot of you guys go into the dark zone with your friends and you struggle because people just keep trolling you and they keep killing you and it makes the game not fun. The reason why is because of your gear score is just barely breaking that bar. If that's the case, you need to lower your gear score. You need to find some random gold pieces if you need to, whatever you need to do. Make a second or third character, whatever it is, and get just a regular pistol, just a regular sidearm that's like barely anything. Could be white for all I care, and put it in your pistol slot. It'll dramatically lower your gear score. Get to that 160 mark and hang out there. Hang out there so you can get all the drop zones or whatever it is that you need to do and hang out there. Once your gear score is above, let's say, 200, then you can go ahead and you can consider taking on the other dark zone, taking on the high class dark zone where all the other players are, and then find a good weapon that can combo well with whatever you're building. If you do that, then you can actually stand a chance in that dark zone. Mind you, you still want to play with your friends that you found running the hard mode. Bring them in with you. The more people you have, the less people are going to challenge you. The less people will think about going rogue on you. But if you're solo, you're painting a bullseye on your head. I'll kill a solo just for the sake of killing a solo. I know that sounds mean to me, but I'm getting experience out of it. I'm getting whatever items he had, and that's what's part of this game. Don't run solo. If you can at all avoid it, don't run solo. Okay, some of you guys are like, oh, well, I'm super powerful and I can take on anyone. You're not going to take on a group of 4 that are all high-end characters. I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are. Running against a group of 4 that are all 160s, barely breaking even in the dark zone, yeah, you're probably going to destroy them. But you're not going to take on somebody that's 214 or above. It's just not going to happen. The game's not designed that way. They drop shock turrets on you. They can hit you with electric pulses. They can activate all 4 supers on you. You can run away, yeah, but I mean, these people will absolutely destroy anybody that runs into Dark Zone solo. Try to avoid doing it at all costs, unless you are deliberately going in there for experience and you're trying just to randomly kill people and run. That's probably the only way that I would recommend going in solo. Either way, that'll pretty much wrap it up for this video, you guys. I just want to express to you the best ways to level up and what to watch out for as far as leveling up and becoming a stronger agent. Gear score makes a huge, absolutely insane difference in the amount of damage you will do in PvE, the amount of damage resilience you will receive in PvE, and it will help you a lot in PvP as far as being able to use your abilities to the best of their ability. Okay? So you have all your talents unlocked because you maxed out your base of operation, you have all your skill power, you have everything set up. Then you would be ready to take on the Dark Zone. But do not go in there barely breaking 161 and expect to pull something out, because it's just not going to happen. The best gear you're going to find is going to be in the Incursion. I highly, highly, highly recommend running Incursion non-stop. Yeah, sure you can, Cryptic. Sure you can. I've ran with Cryptic. You can't 1v4 everyone. Mind you, there are a lot of players that we can destroy because our gear score is higher, because our talents are better, so we can 1v4 certain players, but even then, we will struggle against a full team that is very well balanced and has their stats really high and they have really good weapons. So keep an eye on your market. Be sure to check out my videos. I will constantly be covering what's in the Dark Zone, what rank you have to be at to get it, and what's inside the base of operation. Keep looking forward to that at every reset. Keep an eye out for anything and everything that I say that might be decent, might be good. And keep your own eyes out. Maybe you'll come across something. I will tell you in this video, the best perks that you're looking for on a weapon, if you guys are trying to reroll it, the absolute #1 perk to look for on any weapon is Brutal. Brutal will increase your headshot damage across the board. Always, always, always look for Brutal. It is the #1 perk. There are a lot of other good perks, but Brutal is the best one. There's arguably second and third best ones, and that's fine, but Brutal is the #1 one that you want on any weapon, regardless of what it is. Either way, you guys, that'll wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will turn the stream back on in just a minute. Thanks for watching.